has arrived, unfortunately I am Superman of Doom. The people of the Motherland have come, unfortunately I am Superman of Doom. Chapter 33. Meng, who incarnated as the ancient day of destruction, returned to his short-term sanity, and his subconscious breathing also caused the continuous vibration of the mountain air. And the sudden heat made the plateau hot and restless, and the next second of inhalation would form a tornado. Standing motionless on the hill, the hideous and terrifying bone spur body will also spill out a wisp of red energy from time to time, breaking the foothill into a series of cracks and deep ravines. His existence is destruction. Therefore, this also discouraged Meng from trying to get closer to the sun now, in order to obtain a large amount of solar radiation and forcibly modify the genes in the body. That may make the Doomsday avatar stronger in a short period of time, but it will also make it more difficult for him to control this destructive body. Unless one day in the future, Meng in the dream realm will control the Doomsday avatar to a certain extent, and reason completely suppresses desire. As for that, the second thing. Ruined Daydream's eyes began to turn faintly red again, looking at the small Kryptonian spaceship next to him, looking at the young baby still sleeping inside. Perhaps because of the Kryptonian gene or the code of life in the body, since he was still on Krypton, the son of Krypton has a certain relationship with his incarnation, and can constantly awaken a wisp of his weak humanity. This is also the biggest reason why Doomsday Dream chose to take the spaceship with him. The son of Krypton, he is a portable tool who incarnates himself on the day of doom and maintains a slight human sanity. At the same time, it is also an insurance. If one day in the future, I end up failing in this dream, instead of becoming a controllable and rational Doomsday Superman, I completely become a Doomsday monster that has lost its humanity. The Bone Spur monster looked at the son of Krypton, the red light in his eyes became stronger and stronger, revealing a terrifying hideous smile. Then, it's up to you to end me. In a dream, dying as an avatar of doom may at least get rid of the result of being completely lost in the dream. What Meng was worried about was what if he was really completely lost as the incarnation of Doomsday in the future, and no one could kill him. As the future protagonist of this cosmic dream, the son of Krypton, Superman, and the god of the world, it shouldn't be difficult to do this, right? Click. The humming of propellers suddenly came from the lit daylight sky. A police helicopter approached over the plateau. When the local police officer on the helicopter saw the highland mountain range that had almost collapsed, and the grey bone spur monster bathed in the sun on a hill, his scalp couldn't help but feel numb. My god, what is that? Last night, a monster described in the mouths of residents. It really exists. Quote. Just as they saw the bone spur monster below, the bone spur monster also looked up, and a violent crimson color erupted from its eyes, and two red lasers then cut through the sky. Laugh at. The red laser can pass by the air next to the helicopter, and has not entered the end of the sky. Even if it does not hit directly, it also melts part of the fuselage, making the police officers in the cabin feel as hot as fire. Also, a violent and destructive aura that makes people fear from the bottom of their hearts. The clouds broke and the air was turbulent. The police helicopter flying at high altitude shook for a while, and when the fuselage personnel came back to their senses in horror, the hills below had been crushed and collapsed layer by layer. And the bone spur monster carried the aircraft to the end of the field of vision. It wasn't until the bone spur monster that seemed to be the embodiment of destruction disappeared from view, and the strong wind stirred up the helicopter to shake from side to side, that a police officer who was paralyzed in the cabin did not have the strength to pick up the walkie-talkie. Headquarters, this is Smallville, please reply when you receive it. Washington, White House, Office of the President. Please come in. An officer wearing a uniform with the rank of colonel knocked on the door urgently, and after a calm male voice came from the office, he immediately opened the door and walked in. I've pushed off all the afternoon meetings, what's going on? Sitting on the office chair, the middle-aged man in a suit asked in a deep voice. Just now, from the call from the military base, he already learned a little about the situation. It's just that, until now, he still felt a little unbelievable. Alien visitors? Or a bone spur monster? The colonel quickly reported, it. Originally discovered on the farm in Smallville, it seems to have descended with alien spacecraft, and now crosses state from Kansas at breakneck speed and has entered the territory of Oklahoma. So fast, will it fly? The middle-aged man was stunned. No. It's just that it jumps faster than it flies. The colonel smiled bitterly, he had never seen such a powerful creature. You didn't use armed force to intercept it? An armed force has been sent to try to intercept it. At present, the whole army is destroyed. The office suddenly fell silent. More than 10 seconds later, the middle-aged man said calmly. Use all the military forces in the vicinity and seize it at all costs. It must not be allowed to endanger the lives and property of citizens. He paused and continued. Of course, it and the spacecraft are also of great research value, so be careful not to damage the spacecraft too much. Yes, sir. 0038 Shuddering DC Earth. It was 1980, DC Cosmic Earth, in the same city as Washington, D.C., in a large museum. Diana, you are mysterious. In the studio, a male staff member wearing glasses suddenly sighed with emotion. Not far away. A mature and tall woman wearing a white professional dress and stepping on high heels is painting a statue with a faint bright color. But the perfect curve of the body outlined by the hip-wrapping skirt is more beautiful than any artwork in the interior. Every time you go outside the museum, I feel like you're gone. The male staff continued, in the old saying of the East, it is, the dragon sees the head but does not see the tail. Quote, "It's okay. During breaks, I just get used to staying at home." Diana pursed her lips lightly, non-committal. "You're not like someone who stays at home," the male colleague was muttering. But at this moment, the turned-on TV suddenly inserted an urgent report. "This is a video shot 10 minutes ago in Kansas." The men in the studio and Diana look at the TV screen. Then, the male person's pupils suddenly trembled like a shock, and his mouth opened wide. Really fake. Diana's dark eyes also revealed solemnity. In the video where the visible pixels are not high, a black dot suddenly grows from far and near at the end of the sky, and finally it is a tall and hideous grey-white bone spur monster. Its hideous body is nearly 3 meters tall, dragging a UFO 2 or 3 times larger than itself with one hand, and the moment it lands, it is like a meteorite hitting the clearing of the local town, causing the earth to sink directly down several meters, forming a huge crater with a diameter of 10 meters. And shocking cracks burst out to the ground outside the pit. Boom! Without a trace of stagnation, the moment it landed, the monster jumped again. The dust waves swept and the sound barrier was broken. The glass in the town was shattered, and garbage and rubble were flying all over the sky. In the blink of an eye, the bone spur monster left the town with an unknown flying machine, and its figure turned into an after-image streamer and rushed to the farther sky area. The video is interrupted at this point, only less than 3 seconds, and the bone spur monster shows a blurry true outline for only half a second. But the terrifying appearance image that seems to come from another world, the perfect and hideous exoskeleton and bone spurs all over the body, where it passes, forms a great force like a moving natural disaster, making all the humans who see this scene terrifying. The genes deep in the body are trembling, as if witnessing some cosmic abyss. Mankind has always considered itself the greatest race on Earth and indeed in the universe. Until they saw that this bone spur monster, which should not exist in reality, was even weaker than an ant in comparison. Even Diana Prince, who has the blood of a real god, saw this bone spur monster across the screen, and her body and mind instantly tensed into the heroine mode of preparing for battle. At this time, Gotham City. The clouds of adulthood make the day as gloomy as the night. Wayne Manor. That was. What the? A dark-haired boy less than 10 years old was curled up on the sofa, watching the image of the bone spur monster broadcast on TV, his body constantly trembling spontaneously. Bruce. A gentleman quickly stepped into the living room, picked up the remote control and turned off the TV. "It's okay. It's just a movie special effects." The gentleman comforted in a calm tone, and stepped forward to hug the boy's constantly trembling body. A beautiful lady wearing a pearl necklace also hurriedly walked out of the room and asked nervously, "Honey, what happened?" It's okay, he's just scared," the gentleman said softly. The black-haired boy lying in his arms bit his lip hard, his eyes were dull, and his mind kept recalling the powerful and terrifying scene. He didn't know that from today onwards, the bone spur monsters would become another nightmare regular in the night except for bats. That indescribable hideous body, powerful enough to overflow destructive power. If it comes to Gotham, in Gotham City. Despair once again hit Bruce Wayne's childhood heart like a tide of darkness. Metropolis, the Red Room laboratory that secretly collects and researches various alien technologies. First chapter previous chapter 33 140th next chapter tale table of contents.